In this video, I'm going to show you the difference between the Mighty Networks community platform and the Skool community platform, and ultimately why I chose Skool and why I moved everything from Mighty Networks over to Skool. So first, let's take a look at Mighty Networks. This is where I used to host my Content Machine Academy. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice is just how busy Mighty Networks is. There's so many different things going on, so many different headings, subheadings, and so many different tabs that you can access. So overall, for me, it's just a lot busier and it's just a whole lot to take in. There's so many things going on and images and see more that I just find it hard to navigate. And aside from just comparing features and the layout, let's talk about outcomes, because in my Mighty Networks community, there just wasn't that much engagement. Sure, we had people coming into the community and asking questions, but for the most part, what you would see is just somebody asking a question that was related to a course I was offering and me just responding. Whereas in my Skool community, the Content Academy, there's a lot of engagement happening with the members of the community between themselves, without me having to even be involved. So if you're just comparing who has more features than the other, Mighty Networks might actually have more features, but when you look at the outcomes of the success of your community, Skool is beating Mighty Networks by far, because you're ultimately going to judge your community not by how many members it has, although this community is growing a lot faster than my Mighty Networks community ever did, but really based on the engagement of the group itself and the impact you're having on the community members, the impact that they're having with each other, and then potentially how that's translating into your business results and how much revenue that's generating for your business. Now, the other thing that always bothered me a bit about Mighty Networks was just how long things take to load. Things do load, but you can see there's just a slight delay as you move around the site. You've got things popping in from the right. The videos take a second to load. When you're navigating around Skool, things just pop up right away. When I jump into a class and I open up a paid program, everything just comes up a little bit faster than it ever did on Mighty Networks. And when you're talking about the customer experience, speed today matters. People don't want to sit around and wait for websites to load. Now, the other thing about a Skool community that I really love is the gamification. It keeps track of how often people are commenting and engaging and supporting other members. So you can see here, there's a leaderboard and you can click into that and you can just see how everyone is engaging with each other. Who are the top members of all time, the last 30 days and the last 7 days. And at first, I didn't think this would be important. If you're a busy business person, do you really care about whether you're on top of a leaderboard? But it actually does, because if you're in a popular community where there's a lot of like-minded business people in your group, where you might want a lot of exposure with other people that are in that group, if you are on the top of that leaderboard, all 16.5 thousand members of this community are going to see me on a daily basis. Now, in terms of name recognition and building trust in other communities, this is really important. So having this in your own community might not necessarily be important to you on the surface, but it is important to the members of your community. So it's less about vanity metrics and whether you have the most comments, but really, are you the most visible person in that community, and therefore possibly picking up business from those members inside the community. So again, what I really like about Skool is just how it's laid out. You have the community front and center. This is where all the threads and the discussion take place. And then it's very easy to write another message. You just open this up and then you can type a title and then you can write something and then you can attach files, put in a video, make a poll. You can add a GIF. If you're the administrator of that community, you can also send an email to all the members. The classroom is front and center, so everyone can see the various classes that you have to offer. And what I really like about Skool itself is that I can use one of the courses to demonstrate how you actually use the community itself. So I can give people instructions on what to do and how everything works. I can have them introduce themselves in a thread. If you click this, it's going to take you right to the first thread, which is an introduction. And I give them a quick prompt to introduce themselves and a couple of questions. So you have unique ways of exposing the community members in multiple ways to the same thing. So if they're in the community, they can also see the introduction here as well. So in case they didn't go to the classroom, they'll still see it. And then I can also use a single course to promote paid programs within the community. They can open this up. They can see a product comparison. They can reach out to me if they have additional questions, and then they can dive right into client testimonials and watch these from directly in the community. So you can see here, this is really almost replacing a website altogether, and it's providing much more value than a website really ever could. Then you can also access events. You can see what's coming up. You see here, I have a couple of different ongoing calls here. These are different paid programs that are within the community. So if you've purchased a course, you can access these. You can also access the member list. Again, you can look at those leaderboards where you can see who's on the top, and then also where you stand and what courses will unlock as you go. So one thing you can do is you can provide free courses to people that will unlock automatically as they reach certain levels. So within my classroom, Classroom, I have free courses that will be available to everyone, even if you're not logged in. And then these courses here will show up as you reach certain levels. And then down below, I have my paid courses here. And then there's a simple about page that allows you to put a video that explains the community with a quick description. So above all, what I like about Skool is that it keeps things dead simple. They really focus on a few core features that a community really needs, which is really a place to discuss things, a classroom, a place to find events, the different members that are involved, and really what the community is all about. And that's really all you need for a successful community. And it's when you start to add in all the other things that it really starts to distract people and keep them from actually collaborating and being a strong, tight-knit community that actually helps each other. Now, one other thing that I wanted to talk about, which is important, is how do you get help? How do you get support? On Mighty Networks, it was quite odd. It was just one of these bubbles, like most websites where you get one of these things and you type something in and you hope that somebody responds pretty quickly. You never really know exactly when somebody's going to get back to you. But in Skool, it's a lot different. They actually have their own community here that you can log into. You can post bugs, you can post features, you can post help for other Skool community members. I also directly communicate with the Skool team with direct message one-on-one. They usually get back to me right away. And if you think about it, the most important thing about this is that the Skool staff is eating their own dog food. They have their own community. It's quite large. It's growing fast. They're in there in the weeds helping their own members and using the tool the same way you would use the tool. So they understand it just as equally as you do. There's a couple usability things that I really love about Skool as well. Just it keeps your tagline front and center throughout the entire experience. And you can also control a few different links here that always show up that allow people to find the most important things. So if you're new to the community, you know right where to go. And if you want to work with me, there's a link for that as well. So there you go. There's a good overview of the difference between Mighty Networks and Skool and why I switched over to Skool and why I love it. If you want to check out Skool and see how it works for you, check the link in the description below. There's a link there. If you click that, it'll take you to Skool and you can get a free trial. If you're trying to build an engaged community around a mission and a vision and also using community to build your business, I know you'll love Skool. Check it out and maybe I'll see you over there.